where everything relating to love, life, personal development, and everything in between is being discussed. This is that platform where the relationship becomes closer, thrive again, and get fulfillment for your living. I welcome you once on board. My name is Faye Shayo Oluwafemi, your relationship coach. I'm glad to have you on board. Welcome. Confirm that you can see me. Yes, I have two people watching. Register your presence. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm waiting to hear from you. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Confirm that you can hear me and that you can see me. Confirm you can hear me and you can see me. It's still the month of love, and this is one of the reasons we're talking about love today. Yes. And it's a relationship clinic where we talk about relationship issues and solutions to them. We talk about everything in between family life and also learn to get better. Today, I have with me our guest, Mrs. Bola Ayodamola. Still waiting to have her in the house. But while we wait for her, can you begin to share what your expectations are today as you come to this theme, sustaining your love life in marriage? Shortly before I give you the intro to the theme of today. If you are online, you can hear me. Can you rave? Send your best emoji. I love the emoji love. You can send your love emoji. Send in your love S emoji. It's still the month of love. Is anyone in? Okay, I believe I'm not speaking to ghosts. You can hear me. Please signify that you can hear me. And I'm sending some shots. I want to be sure that it can also be seen. Yes, is anybody hearing me? When you hear of relationship clinic, what comes to your mind? Share with us. Share with us. Share with us. What comes to your mind when you hear of relationship clinic? Like ideal clinic is a place where you go to be diagnosed of what is wrong with you and solutions to the issues you have at hand. All right. So this is also the same for our relationship. Our relationship is a living organism, like I would usually say. It has the tendency to live and the tendency to also die. How would it live? How would it die? For it to live is one of the reasons why we're talking about sustaining your love life in marriage. Many people started their love life, blossoming, enjoying themselves, live a life of enjoyment and bliss while they were singles. But coming to marriage, due to the hurdles of life, due to challenges that they found themselves, they find it difficult to maintain that relationship. And we see the relationship also dwindling because they have failed to give attention to the relationship. All right. So this is why we saw that it is needful for us to talk about this. Many times we do not talk about this issue. We just think that it will roll by itself. We just thought that things will be fine and all. But it is not so. What you don't give attention to will not grow. So when you give attention to your marriage relationship, it has the tendency to also grow. Not giving attention to it can make it a die. So this is why we don't want to put it side by side or push it to the side to say that our relationship does not need the extra. You see, that extra is needed because just like the five fully virgins and the five wise virgins, they all were virgins. But then what happened? The foolish ones did not have the extra oil, but there was something that distinguished the wise virgins, and that was the extra. So this is what we're talking about today, is the extra that is needed in marriage. And this is why we've also brought to the table today a young mother and a career woman, a business tycoon, as that is, so that we can also learn from her how she, maybe how she was seeing marriage before she got into it, and now that she is married in the space of a year above, and what are those things she have seen that maybe was shocking to her when she got on board, or what are those things that she saw and she was able to navigate in the marriage life and even the singlehood. How is it that she's been able to navigate a marriage relationship appropriately, and that the love life is still blossoming? So we want to learn from her. But before she come on board, I would just like to talk to some few things. Now, love in itself is both a verb and a noun. It is a noun because it is a thing. It is a verb because it is an action word. And you cannot claim that you have it as a thing and fail to give it out. All right. So if you feel and you know that I have love, then one of the things you want to do is to show it. Because the Holy Scripture says, God is love. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. First John 4, verse 8. God is love. And the unfortunate thing is, most people have not understood what love in itself is. And I mean, let me even say who love is, because love is a personality. And like I said, from the Holy Scripture, if you are a believer, then you understand from this perspective to say that love is God and God is love. Take, for instance, I had a discussion with my little boy. He was fighting with his elder sister. And I was like, why are you doing that? And so because I don't like her, I said, oh, wow, you don't like her. So why don't you like her? Then he kept moving. And I told her that, does God loves you? He said, yes. Okay, so if God loves you, I said, who are you? He said, I am God. In fact, I love that response. Little boy of 4 years. He said, I am love. I said, wow. Now that you know you are love, love is God. And since God is love, and you believe that you are God, and by equating it together, it means that you also are love, then you should not even have any means to say, I do not love somebody, I do not love somebody. And then we settled it. A little boy. But if we allow that evil seed to grow in him, it can grow up to become the kind of wickedness seed that grew up in the heart of the brother of Abel, Cain. He just hated his brother and then killed his brother. And I told him, so do you want to be like Cain? He said, no. All right. So if you don't want to be like Cain, then you must love your sisters and love everybody. Do you understand? He said, yes. Now, this is what we're also learning about. The thing is, love in itself is something that we are born with, because God made us like himself. And as he has made us like himself, he makes us to be like him. And as we are like him, we should relate and become like him. We should do what? Be like him and relate like him. But anything at all that makes us not to be like him is one thing that should make us know that an evil seed has been planted into us. All right. So it is not normal for a human being not to love. It's not normal for a human being not to love. Any seed of hatred inside of you is the work of the devil. Hold on for me a minute as you begin to ruminate over the few things I've said. Begin to talk to yourself. Do I truly love? Am I God? All right. And when you begin to understand this, it helps you to be able to work appropriately. 1 minute, ruminate over it. Who am I? Are you God, like my son said he's God? And if you are God, how is it that you have not been able to love all the while? Yes, 1 minute. All right, how did that exercise go? How did it go with you? Were you able to understand that truly you are God, and as God that you have the seed of love planted inside of you, and that makes you to be able to love naturally. But based on the significant experiences that people have had in the time past, growing up, maybe experiences they had from their parents or guardians or the environment they grew up, they've learned so many bad behaviors. Some have been hurt, they're passing through so many traumas that it has made them not to be able to show love, to be vulnerable to love. And then they just feel that, well, that's how that man jilted me. I'm not ready for any other love life. And that's how that girl also did. All girls are the same thing, Jerry. So they have not been able to walk through their hurts. Because see, if you do not take time to heal up from all traumas of life that you have passed through, it will hinder you from becoming who you should truly be. Because until you begin to love, then you are going to struggle. So this is why we are here today. We're still waiting for our guest. She's having technical itch, but just like I said, I will still go on, expecting that she paves way in here. I like you to engage this session. You are hearing me? Can you say something that yes, you are hearing me? Send in your love emoji. Like I said, I love love. I love love. I love love. Send your emojis. Tell me you can see me and that you can hear me. Can you see me? You can hear me. You have not responded, but it's fine, just to be sure that I can be heard. Now, one of the things that happens for me, for instance, when I got married, one of the first shock that happened to me in few weeks into marriage was the fact that I saw that both parents, from my side and from the side of my husband, actually expected that you own up to responsibilities from the families. And I was like, wow, we just married. They should understand with us that we are just coming up. And how is it that this big responsibility is coming? That big responsibility is coming, and it's as though they were waiting for us to get married so that they can begin to roll out those responsibilities. Was that shocking to you? It was shocking to me. I had to balance and like, well, I have to live my life the way I can live it and experience bliss, such that there is no issues, such that there is no problem, such that I will not begin to live a fake life trying to impress them while I'm suffering inside. Because this is where some families have met themselves, and it has hindered them from being able to live the blissful life that they expect to live. This is one of our focuses in relationship clinics so that you can find love again, you can find life again, you can be joyful once again, you can glow once again, you can live a blossoming life, you can even live a fulfilling life. Are you that kind of person that even while you were single, you've moved from one person to the other in the area of marriage, and that has in the area of relationship, and that has helped hindered you from living the life that you should live? So it's actually a responsibility and a privilege that for you to be able to plan ahead for that marriage life, and the life that is full of love, the life that you can experience love again, the life that can be blissful and blossoming once again, the life that you can rejuvenate and just feel that you're living, not that you're being burdened for for being married. Many people are married, but they are not enjoying life. Thank you for sending the love emoji. And then if you are still on, you want to send yours too. But permit me to be sure that you can hear me and you can still see me. All right. So this is what we're talking about. Very important that your love is being sustained. What are those key things you think can sustain your love life? Because every relationship that exists because the two people involved in the relationship wants to make it work. If both of them are not willing to make it work, it's not going to work. If both of them are not willing to make the relationship work, it's not going to work. All right, thank you. You can see me and then you can hear me. hear me? So it takes the two people that are involved to be sure that yes, they are ready to make the relationship work. And this is why we're talking about this. As much as you are learning this, it's important that your partner, whether you're engaged or you are married, should also learn this. Okay, what are those key things that are needed for your love life to be sustained? The first I would talk about while we're still waiting for our guest is determination. Determination to believe that at all costs my marriage is going to work and I'm going to give it all it takes for it to work. It's a wrong mindset for you to say, oh, I cannot come and kill myself. Oh. If I try this one, you know work, try that one, you know work. I go pack out. I no go come fit die. Now, truly, you are not going to die, and no one prays that you should die. But your mindset is so powerful and so important because as a man believes or thinks in his heart, so is he. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. So if you think that, oh, well, this marriage ain't going to work, even if I do this, even if I do that, I'm not sure it's going to work. So what will happen to you? Every little thing, the devil will amplify it in your eyes for you to see reasons why that marriage will not work. So, but one of the things you want to do is to help yourself. Help yourself to do all, to believe that my marriage will work. The truth is, the social media has not even helped us. They amplify to us and show to us how many marriages are crumbling, how many relationships are also scattering, but they've not been so dutiful to reveal to us relationships that are also working. My own relationship is working. It's still a work in progress, but it's also working. Because for every relationship that is working, one of the intentional things you want to do is to consistently work on your relationship. There's nothing like I've gotten there. You continually work on your relationship. So one of the things that is actually advised professionally is that even when you are married, once a year, the way you do your annual medical checkup, you go and do marital assessment checkup to be sure that you are still fine, to be sure that both of you are still on track, to be sure that you still have the same belief system, to be sure that things are also working for you, to be sure that you know the areas that you also need to work more on and not just relent. The first time myself and my husband did the marital assessment checkup, hell, it was crisis. It was really crisis because we were very low. Because there are ranges that shows that your marriage is shaky. There are ranges that shows that your marriage is good, or is fair, or is great, or is blissful. There are indicators to But when they got married, they just relaxed. They thought the wife should do what she knows best to do, especially men. After they have chased the lady and chased the lady, and the lady have said, yes, I do. And after they both decided to do on the marriage altar, they both individually went their ways. And the man just thinks the only thing he needs to do is to keep sending him money and coming home, have sex with the wife, and think that that will be fine. No, it's beyond that. It is a life. It is a living. It is intentionality that
Relationship clinic
relationship to
where
work.
everything
It is a life. It is a determination that will make the relationship to work. So this is why I've talked about determination. So we had many reasons why, for me, when we got married, why maybe the relationship was not going to work, even though we were so sure that yes, we are meant for ourselves. But we decided to work on ourselves. All right. Number two thing I want to talk about is determination. Okay, sorry, I said determination the first one. Number two is teachability. Teachability. This is that ability in you to learn, receive feedback about yourself, about things you're doing well and things you're not doing well, and to also make up your mind to adjust. It is that ability in you that makes you to be anti-fragile, meaning that you can receive feedback without sucking in. You can receive feedback and bounce back. You can receive some nasty negative feedbacks about you, and they don't kill you. You receive them. You receive and embrace the feedback. It's one thing for you to receive the feedback and feel like, well, let them say, I don't give, but it's another thing entirely for you to receive the feedback and feel like, this is hurting truly, but this is me, and decide that, and I'm going to work on myself. I remember while I was still single back then in school, one younger colleague of mine that was in a lower level decided to just give me the I don't even know what to call it. He said it as he loved. Anyhow, he just said it bass. That, yeah, your face is too hard, blah blah blah. You don't play with people, you don't do this, you don't do that, and this and that. Ha! I felt hot, but again, I looked at the feedback. I felt like this feedback is actually very valid. And then I decided to work on myself. The truth is, I'm not still where I used to be, but I'm not where I should also still be. I'm still working on myself to put on a smiling face, to always be cheerful and all. So this kind of attitude, you should also bring it to the marriage front. Teachability. And this is not just meant for the husband or the wife only. It is meant for both people, both parties. There are some men that feels that, well, I am the man here, and whatever I decide and say for my family is binding. The wife doesn't have a say. She can decide to do whatever she likes. Only who cares? After all, I'm the head of this woman. It's my family. Oga, yes, we agree. It's your family. But it takes two to tango. One will chase 1,000, two will put 10,000 to flight. So as that is, it is important that you bring down your ego and work together, because can two work together except they be agreed? So until you agree with your partner and until your partner agrees with you, before that marriage can be what it should be. So this is why even the men need teachability. And a dangerous man to marry is that man that is unruly, that does not have a head over him, that does not have somebody who he fears, that does not have somebody he dreads, somebody that can say, what's wrong with you? Why would you say that to your wife? Why would you do this? I should not even hear that about you again. And he believes and agrees to it. But a man that is all by himself, all for himself, is a dangerous man to marry. Whether he's already married or is about to get married. So this is why we talk about it, that both people should actually be teachable. Now, if you check through the scripture, Ephesians 5 verse 22 actually says both of you should submit one to another, meaning that the husband, when he needs to submit to the wife's decision, do submit. The wife, when you need to submit to the husband's decision, do submit. It is not one-sided, it is both-sided. Different from what the culture teaches us to say that the woman must always submit and the man does not need to submit any damn thing. Now, this is not for the women to also feel like, yes, so we did here. No. But you see, The two of them are one, only existing in two forms. And one of the things that should happen for you is the understanding that you both, when you see the truth, whether it's coming from the female or it's coming from the male, I mean from the man or from the woman, the other party should embrace the truth, whether it is hurting or not. Okay, so this is one of the things that is very important that we put to heart. As I continue, another thing you want to do that will make your love life to be sustained is effective communication. Hmm. Effective communication is that communication that once it's been passed from party A to party B, both of them understand the message, and there's a feedback from the one who have received the message. The person sending the message have sent a particular thing, and the receiver also received it the way the sender sent it, and understand and gives a feedback to the person who sent the message. But once this is not done, the truth is your marriage is not effective. I mean, effective communication has not happened to you or for you. So this is why it's actually very important that you begin to learn how to communicate. Do you know that what we do not even say with our mouths, but we heart with our body, also communicates to us. Your babies can understand communication even when they cannot speak. They can understand when you smile to a baby, the baby smiles back to you. When you say, or something, the baby will like, what's that? Yes, because they are human beings, they are also living beings, so they understand all of these things. So, as little as communicating with your spouse effectively, it sustains your love life. It sustains your love life. I say it again, it sustains your love life. So, if you do not understand communication, you say something in a certain manner, and your partner understands it in another manner, then problem has come. I remember in primary school, one day I was going home, and then I saw a group of my friends who also have finished, whom were close together. They gathered and they were discussing. Then I looked at them, and they called me and said, "Why am I hiring them?" I'm like, "Hire you? I didn't hire you." He said, "I'm hiring them." They dealt with me that day. It was really a bullied experience. And I felt like, so there's a particular way I can look at somebody and the person can feel like I'm hiring him, like it's insulting, even though I've not said anything. So I learned my lesson the hard way. This is how it is to a marriage. Many times the wife or the husband acts in a certain manner, and the other person is receiving it as something else. So what happens? There is chaos. So we need to understand ourselves. Understanding of yourself will help you to be able to understand the communication that your partner is bringing to the table. So, effective communication is one of the things that sustains your love life, right? Effective communication. Another thing is self-love. Hey, yeah. Self-love is not a selfish love. It's not that kind of love that is selfish, that just goes to the eatery, eats quality food, and just go to the shopping mall, buy a lot of things at the grocery, go back home and sleep on the bed, and place the laps on the other lap, and then just watch the TV as it's going. No, no, no. That's not self-love. So if you are supposed to be reading at a particular time, you are sleeping, you do not love yourself. If you are supposed to be praying at a time and you do not pray, you do not even love yourself. So of self-love is that kind of love that you know who you are, and you are able to hold yourself accountable and work on yourself to get better. You tell yourself the truth. I'm a lazy person, I know it. But then you don't stop at just knowing it, but you decide to work on yourself so that you move from the zone of being lazy to the zone of becoming hardworking, industrious person. Yes, this is what it is. And so if you fail to love yourself as you are, then it will be difficult for you to love your neighbor, because the scripture commands that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. So if you do not even understand how you love yourself, it will be difficult to know how to love your neighbor. Talk more of your partner that you will live with for the rest of your life. So self-love is that love that helps you to discipline yourself. Many of us, we just go here and there, no plan for the day. We aren't doing anything about ourselves. We just loaf around. we're not reading books, we're not doing anything about our lives, no personal development focus, nothing things tangible is happening for you. And then you think you are working on yourself or that, or and then you think you're just enjoying. You think you are enjoying. No, that's not enjoyment at all. That is not enjoyment. So self-love would help you to be able to is that when you truly say you love yourself, you self-love, it means that you can hold yourself accountable. You can hold yourself accountable, you can discipline yourself, you can receive feedback and work on feedbacks that are given to you. You can also you have a teachable spirit, and then you are working to get better. When you love yourself in this way, you are that type that tell yourself the truth, it will not be difficult for you to tell your partner the truth. It will never be difficult for you to tell your partner the truth. But if you are in the zone of even not telling yourself the truth, that's why somebody who loves you more than you, because it does happen, comes and tell you the truth about you, and then you just flare up. And like, what's this say? Even my father cannot, even my uncle cannot, and what is it say? Wahala is too much. That is this, that is that. Why? Because you do not love yourself enough to receive the truth. If you love yourself enough and you understand that this feedback coming to me is needed for my thriving and for my becoming and for my good, then what would you do? You embrace it because you love yourself. You want yourself to get better. So some of us have not moved from the zone of self-loving ourselves to the zone where we can now love another person. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Beloved, let us love one another. That command cannot be possible until you understand love as God and receive much of His love. So much so that you can dispense your love to another. You understand? So, this is what it is. The next thing that will keep your love life sustained is quality time. Ay, ay, ay. Quality time. Quality time. Many of us do not have time for ourselves. I mean, for yourself personally. You do not have time to work on yourself, to set daily routines of what you do on daily basis. You do not set routine of what you should do and hold yourself accountable to do those things. But you are still in the zone of giving excuses why you cannot deliver. So when this happens, what do you think happens? You will not be able to grow. And this is why it is important that you give yourself quality time. Quality time is needed for you to work on yourself. You take time to work on yourself. You take time to work on feedbacks that you are receiving. You take time to also better yourself. You read, you learn from people, you grow on daily basis. Once you do this for yourself and you put structures in your life, it's quite easy for you to do for another. But if you have not done this for yourself, it's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. All right. So quality time is not in the quantity of the time spent together, but it is in the little time that you spend with content embedded in it. It might be 10 minutes, it might be 5 minutes, it might be 15 minutes, but the allotted time is the time that you have decided to add flavor, value to the other person because you cherish yourself. If you love yourself, you manage your time very well. And if you manage your time very well, what will happen is that you will you will be able, if you love yourself, it means that you will be able to give, you will be accountable to yourself. You will hold yourself with high esteem that you must deliver. You won't give excuses why you cannot deliver to have something at a time or the other. You will hold yourself accountable. So if you can do that to yourself, so one of the things that happens is that you will be able to also hold others accountable. But many of us have not been in that space where we are able to hold ourselves accountable. So when we see somebody holding us accountable, we flare up. We feel like it's too hard. We feel like, what is it self? You feel like this is just too much. It is because you do not self-love. All right. So The next thing that will help your love language, I mean, that will I actually said the next point, actually. The next thing that will help your love life to be sustained is to speak your love languages. And this was why I talked about self love first of all, because when you do not even understand what self love is, you find it difficult to be able to speak the language of love. And you see, Gary Chapman have done justice to this by telling us that there are 5 love languages. And me, I've added my own to it. You see, he said there's act of service, there's quality time, there's words of affirmation, there is physical touch, and there is gift. And there is gift. And I added my own to say prayer is also a language. Every religion, everywhere in the world pray. So somebody you love, you pray for. If you love yourself, you will also pray for yourself. So if you can pray for yourself and you maintain a prayer schedule for yourself, you will make it important that you pray for your partner. The truth is, nobody can tell you that they don't love prayer or to be prayed for. So when you love somebody, you put that person in the place of prayer. Now, another thing is acts of service. You cannot claim you love and not serve your partner. And this is not just to the female gender. As a man, you serve your partner, you serve your wife. And there are many means why where you serve your your wife. It is not just by bringing money to the table. You serve your wife. Sometimes she's down in her health and she cannot do some things. What one of the things you want to do at such times not to increase her problem, but to participate in helping her to do some house chores. You say, me, I cannot do, I cannot. Don't glory in your failure because already it's a failure not to be able to. After all, you are the head. And so you should be able to do all of these things. You are partners. Okay, so it means that this will help this and this will help this. It's not to be lopsided. It's not to be just one-sided. No, it should not. You should not. So you must, and if you must love sacrificially. And the person you love, you give time to. If you truly love with your partner, you give time, you spend time together, you talk together, you rub minds together, you do things together. And you affirm the person that I know you can do it. Others might not, but I know you can do it. This, that, that's this. And that encouragement alone, even when he does not or she does not want to do, you will be able to you will receive fuel enough, energy inside of him or her to be able to do. But if all the time, all that you call your partner is bad names, the truth is they will not believe that any good thing can come out of them. They will not believe that any good thing can come out of their lives. They will, because you have given them a label already. And that label is the label of, oh, they are not amounting to anything good. Oh, they cannot do anything good and all of that. Why? Some husbands have called their wives bad names. See her, good for nothing, problem of my life. It's better I do not even marry than I've married this one. You see? Excuse me. Those are names and they are negative labels that have been stamped on that partner that will make the partner not even be able to thrive even out there. And in fact, if you go into the scripture, you see that it was Adam that called his wife by name of what he wanted the wife to be called. It was Adam that called his wife what he wanted her to be called. So who are you and who do you want to be called? Then one of the things you must do is to be able to do this effectively and speak right as you should. Now, I've spoken about 6 things you should do that will keep your love life blossoming. 6 things you can do to make your love life blossoming. I've spoken about determination, making up your mind that yes, my marriage will work. Even when all marriages are failing, mine will work. Now, I remember when we were in school, there was a course, we call it Fortran. It was a computer course, call it Fortran. And many times, the course is usually very hard, that many people carry it over. And in fact, as we are doing the course as freshers, we see so many people coming to retake it, and you're like, hey, what is happening? Me like this, will I pass this course and all and all? But one of the things I said to myself was, if it's one person that will pass this course, I'll be the one person. And this is not because I am a guru when it comes to computing. Mm-mm. But I just believe that I cannot fail. I cannot just fail this course. If some persons are failed, yes, they are failed. But were there people who also passed this course last year? Yes, they did. So in my time too, if it is just 10 persons or one person that the lecturer wants to pass, then I will be that just one person. That's a mind that is made up. A mind that is made up that yes, I will see to it to make it work. So if you have not had this mind already, that you want your marriage to work, then you want to reshape your heart. Because as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Who are you? We can know who you are by what you think. Yes. We truly can know who you are by what you think, because your thoughts becomes what you say, and what you say becomes your action. So the action does not just start here, but it starts with your thoughts. So this is why Jesus said, "This is what comes from the heart of a man that defiles him, not what he does." So whether you want to steal or you want to kill or you want to do anything, it has come as a thought first of all. This is why you must deal with your thoughts and arrest every negative thought that is not bringing life to you. It's not bringing blossomy. It's not bringing good experiences to your life. You need to work on them. Okay, so I also spoke about teachability. Teachability is that skill that is needed by both the man and the wife. It's needed. I spoke about self-love. Self-love is that skill that you need to work on yourself, hold yourself accountable so that you can also self-love, love your partner. If you do not love yourself very well, it's going to be difficult for you to love another person. Now, another thing I spoke about is effective communications. Yes, effective communications. Not just do not just communicate and assume that your partner understands, but confirm that they truly do. That when you have spoken a thing, you can really attest to the fact that yes, they understood you properly. Okay. I also spoke about spending quality time together. Okay. So while we were singles, myself and my husband used to go. We used to have a week date. So we meet at an eatery and speak about our future, plan for the future, what we want to do, and all of those things every week. Okay. Getting into marriage, I realized that there are so many demands. The work demand is there, the family demand is there, the my own personal life is there, and the baby is also there, because as soon as I got married, I got pregnant. So in the 9 months after my wedding ceremony, I had my baby. So these are challenges coming my way. I have a child. I have my husband there to take care of as a correct woman of the house, right? Okay, who wants to make the husband feel as a man and who wants to do our own marital duties. I have my in-laws to deal with. I have my own parents to also deal with. I have my siblings to deal with. I have my sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws to also deal with. So these are all things, many things running through my. I have my own personal ambition and goal for my life that I also want to put in track, and would not see people still want the marriage life to hinder from coming to limelight. All these were flying in my head, and all these are still there. The question is, how do one navigate these issues? How do you begin to live as you should? One of the things I know that helped me was that I prioritized my life from day one. Even as a single lady working, I always will put God as number one. After God, my parents. After my parents, myself and my work. I said this to say, I gave honor to God, loved him as I should, gave him my time, gave him my love, gave him everything I can do and I should do as a true child of God. I have never allowed the work to push me to the side, that it will hinder me from loving God more and doing everything I should do. Because the challenge of being a single person that is not working is different from the challenge that a working single person has. And it's also different from the challenge that a married woman has, because there are more responsibilities coming to the table now for the married. Okay, so this is why I told myself that before I got this job, I've been going for weekly services, I've been doing this for God, I am doing this, I'm doing that. I won't allow this to hinder it. And with the wisdom of God and God seeing my heart, he helped me and still helping me to make sure that the work is working for my good. You see? And it is still working for my good. Now, I also spoke about love language. Love language, I said I added my own, which is prayer language. I said, according to Gary Chapman, he said there are five love languages. And the truth is, everyone loves to be shown love to in all of these five languages, according to him. But the truth is, some people are now more pronounced in one of these or two of them. So for people who love two of these, then it means that they are multilingual or bilingual. You have to study yourself well enough to know, how do I even love? How do I even love? You know? Or how do I want to be loved? That's will prove to me that somebody really loves me. One of the things that will prove to you that somebody really loves you, maybe you have studied yourself to say, okay, I think I love gifts. If you want to say you love me, well, if you never give me gifts, no, 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 you don't love me. Maybe that is me. Or I want to say, if you say you love me and then cannot spend time together, we don't have to be together physically, okay? But you must have my time. And if you do every other thing, you do every other of the four love languages, and you don't speak my love language of quality time, then it will appear to me that you really do not love me. This is why you need to understand. And the mistake most people do is to speak their own love language for their partner. No, 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 that's not what to do. Understand your own love language. If your husband or your partner is not able to decode it well enough, tell your partner how you want to be loved. Now, understand your partner's love language. When you understand your partner's love language, one of the things you can do is to do what? Speak his own love language. Speak our own love language. Don't speak your own for your partner. No, it will be an error. So another thing that can help your love language. So I was talking about, before I left the matter of quality time, I actually wanted to say that that time when we were doing weekly dates, we saw the result and we were seeing progress as we were planning to the day of marriage and all of that. When we got married, all of the challenges that came on board, we started reading books together as couple. We will read and then we will analyze. At the time, the device was really an issue. I mean, the timing was really an issue. And one of the things that happened was we said, no, we must still make this happen. We must still make that happen. And we decided eventually to still do something. Welcome on board, Mrs. Olusegun. The network was really an issue. You can see me, you can hear me. Please confirm. Can you hear me? Can you see me? If you are speaking, we cannot hear you. Go on. Okay, so we decided to say, okay, even if we are this busy, we still need to carve out time
I
to do. You can
It's
hear me? You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so are you ready to speak? So I will mute you.
I'm ready to speak. I'm ready to speak.
All right, welcome on board. I'm rounding up actually, and then we'll have you on board.
And then
Okay,
we'll
so
have you on board. Okay, so
it's bouncing back.
it's bouncing back.
Uh,
Um,
be sure that you're not
be
connected
sure
on
that you're not
two
connected
devices.
on
If you
two
are, go
devices.
off
If
on
you
the
are,
other one, and
go
then
off on the other one
this
and then
will always be
this
disturbance.
always.
Are we fine?
Let me disconnect from my system. Are we fine? Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so we decided that we're going to still
Okay,
continue
so
to
we
have.
decided that we to still continue to have.
Are you off on the second
Are you
device?
off on the second device? Yes, I'm off. Oh, why? Is my phone off?
It's still bouncing.
It's still dancing. Yes, yes. Hope
So
you've
we
loaded one
decided
data
that
on this one.
we're,
So we decided that
let's disregard. We believe it will get normalized as I speak
let's
further because of
disregard.
that.
We believe it will get normalized as I
So,
speak further because of that.
okay, even if it is
So,
once a month, we're
okay,
still going to
even
have
if
our
it is
dates,
once a month,
and
we're going to have
we're still going to do something meaningful with our
something
lives.
meaningful
And it doesn't
with
have
our
to be
life.
something that is expensive. We don't need to go and buy everything. but that we have a time together to talk together to brainstorm about our progress as a family, as husband and wife, and as per people in the family, and as per all the family members. So you could have a family date that involves you and your children. You could have a couple's date that is just you and your husband. So we have decided that okay, even we are that busy, once in a quarter is not a bad idea. And when the children are also on holiday, it's not a bad idea to do a family date. And the truth is, these memories will linger for long on the children. And as they grow up, they will never forget those experience. And this is what will cause them to have a positive, significant emotional experience as they grow up. All right. So let's welcome on board our guest. Um, she had a lot of technical issues, but thanks be to God, she's here. And I quickly would read her profile to you. She's Mrs. Omobolanle Abosede Olusegun. She's a young lady in her late 20s. She's married to Mr. Ayodamola Samson Olusegun, and they are blessed with a child, precious gift from God, which is Oluwafunsho Olusegun. And she serves the will of God as a wife, a mother, a driven career woman, a businesswoman, and a gospel music minister. You see the profile.
It was on
It's
my
not
phone.
easy to do
Yes,
all
go
of
on.
these. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a career woman, she's a businesswoman, and she's a gospel music minister. Five things in one. How is it that one can thrive doing all this without proper planning? How is it that one can thrive doing all this without um, understanding the place of priority and living life with meaning and living a purposeful life? So this is why we have her here on board to tell us, just like you heard her profile, she's a new mom, she has a baby, she's not too well experienced in the area of marriage, but we believe that there are things she can share with us as part of our learnings, like I've shared mine with you, that we can also pick from her. Okay, so we want to ask you, Mrs. Omobanale Ayodamola Olusegun, what was the first thing that appeared shocking to you as soon as you became a wife? And when you also became a first-time mom, what was that thing that was so shocking to you? For instance, for me, I was sharing with the people before you joined to say that uh, the first thing that was so shocking to me was that there were too many responsibilities coming from my family side and from the side of my husband's family, and it was like they just wanted us to get married so that they would just put all the loads on us. And I was like, wow, is this how it is? They cannot even give us breathing space to let us just balance and all. Okay, so we want to hear from you. What was it like for you? What exactly was the shock, and how were you able to maneuver? Yes, you can respond, ma'am.
I hope everyone can hear me. Ma, can you hear me, ma?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, I'm so sorry. I had a serious technical issue. Please, I'm sorry. Pardon. The first shocking thing that I had immediately I got married was that I was expecting that when we get married, everything will be like the lovey-dovey of how it used to be in relationship and while we're dating. But shockingly for me, when we got married and we moved into Ogun State where we reside now, we did our honeymoon in Lagos. Then when we moved in, it was one issue upon another issue upon another issue. I was not expecting that it would be. Formerly, if I go visit him, I always meet the house so neat. So it's always shocking to me that anytime I get home, I see everything so rough, scattered, and dirty. And I'll be like, seriously? Are you is it the same man I married? As in, I don't understand. And any little thing he'll pick fault, he'll be angry. Any little thing I'll just get angry. And all of us, both of us were wondering, I don't understand. Here we got to our apartment where we stay, we had an issue. We were expecting to have a good time, sex and all of that. In the middle of the chat that we're having, we had an issue, and we had a serious issue that we argued overnight and we slept off. So those things were so shocking. It's like getting the opposite of what I expected. And maybe because we are coming from a different background, we've not stayed together for long. So the fact that we are staying together, I cannot see everything clearly. What I wasn't able to see before, I can see it clearly. So that was the first shocking thing. The seeing the other side of what I expected. Yeah.
Okay, so how were you able to navigate the situation? Because that alone is enough for some people to just go their ways. I've heard of couples who got divorced because the wife or the husband pressed the toothpaste at the middle, and from the home that the other partner grew up from, you have to press it from the bottom. And so just that little issue just got them to go their different ways. So this issue now, how have you been able to navigate it till now so that the singles listening to us can learn, and even the married also can pick some things to learn from it?
Yeah, actually, thank God he has a mentor. He has someone that is accountable to. So that was really the help. Assuming there was no mentor, there was no someone he was accountable to. In fact, it would have gotten to the point that everybody would have gone their separate ways. So I quickly just went to his mentor and told him this and this is going on, and I don't understand. So they came to our aid and they really helped us. So they helped us out and gave us advice, gave us training. We had to re-enroll on some trainings that we actually said we don't need it. We have more knowledge. So I want to understand it. We felt we love each other. So what will cause fight? So nothing will cause fight since we couldn't fight in relationships. So what will cause fight? So we did actually do some trainings that his mentors told us to do. So we ignored it. So we are forced to do the training again, and we started getting along all over.
Wow, this is a whole lot because some from the story you just shared, some people felt that because, like you said, you were visiting a family that you always would see the home everywhere, touch everywhere fine, and so you wish, I'm married and this is my house, thinking that that will happen for you. Not putting in system in place to say, okay, if I want this result, then I must go through this process. And I think we are picking in some lessons. And as you listen to us, please, if there are things that is germane to you, that is profound to you, can just drop it on the chat box so that we can all learn. You can drop in your ideas as we go on and prepare your questions ahead. So one of the things I picked from what she said is the place of planning for what you want to have. She had an expectation of how she wants her house or her home to look like, but she pushed aside the place of planning for it. Maybe she did the planning in her mind, but she did not do the planning with themselves. So it should be one of the things you talk about as partners that wants to have a long-lasting relationship. So, okay, we want to have this kind of marriage. This and this is what we'll be doing. That and that is what we'll be doing so that we can have this kind of marriage. And that's the place of putting structures in place. I, for one, as a
Exactly.
person, structures that are put in place for my children, what they do or should do per day. And I also have my personal structure that I run through 24 hours every day. So, like I was talking before she joined us to talk about self love. If you love yourself well enough, you will put structure in place for yourself and you will hold yourself accountable to deliver. You will not give excuses for why you cannot deliver. She also mentioned the issue of mentorship. We are in a generation where people feel like, whoa, I don't need anybody to mentor me. I think I can do things on my own. And then they go through a route that they get there, something that they should have normally navigate away from, they are not able to navigate from because they lack mentorship. Because even when you think you know the safety that your mentor know, you cannot push aside the place of experience that your
Living.
mentor was through. Okay, so that is another thing that she mentioned. Training. She also mentioned training to say that there were some trainings she did, maybe as single with her husband when they were single, but when they got, maybe they never took it very serious. But when the reality now came on them, when they got married, they now saw the impact of such training. They had to do a enrolling for such programs so that they can also learn. So you don't want to push aside training if truly you want to have a befitting marriage. And I think you're penning down some things as I drop some of them on the chat box. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. And I'll ask you some other questions And I believe everyone is also getting one or two things from all that we are sharing. We are sharing so that we can learn. There are no two individuals that are the same. So, but we can learn these principles and apply it into our marriages. Number two that I want to hear from you, man, is how were you able to sustain your love life when you were singles? Because I heard you mention that you were dating, you was lovey-dovey. So what were the things you committed to when you were single that your love life was blossoming? Would you like to share so that the singles that are hearing you now can be able to pick some of these things and learn while they are single? Please share with us.
Of course, I really enjoyed dating, the dating period. I mustn't lie, I enjoyed it. I During the dating period, I we actually prayed a lot together. That one I met her, I was surprised that he told me that I said let's pray, and it was like, pray. I said yes, this relationship. I didn't even know it will end to marriage because I was just like, okay, it's just a friend. So we started with prayer. Yes, we started with prayer. As a friend, we started as a friend, but we started with prayer. We prayed a lot. I took him to different pastors. I didn't even know I was going to marry him, but I know the basis of that relationship was prayer at first. We started with prayer, we fasted together, we prayed for a lot of things, and which the Lord answered. So that was one. We started with prayer, I can remember that. Yes, I do receive gifts. Oh, I love gifts so much, and He always endow me with different gifts. I Anytime I just know anytime I go to office, I can expect him anytime to show up with gifts. So anytime I'm always overwhelmed with gifts. Valentine is coming, oh, no Valentine, oh, anything, oh, anytime it's just around, maybe in Lagos, we just show up unexpectedly and just give me gifts. And most of the time, we have a time hangout in places, eateries, different outings. We have time out, we talk, we gist, we eat together, we play. And the fourth thing is we go to Christian gatherings together, relationship seminars. I have the privilege to always attend different seminars because I'm used to pastors and all of that. So anytime we have seminars, I always invite, he always comes. So we hear the same thing. We our language becomes similar. So that's actually sustain our relationship because we could listen to what we are hearing the same thing. There is not that he's attending a seminar and I'm not there, or I'm attending a seminar. Even if it means that I have to travel down to where the seminar is holding, he doesn't mind. So we're so intentional in the relationship that seminars that involve marriage, even messages on YouTube, messages like this, we do listen together. We do listen, we share, and we share our views. And fourthly, I'm a gospel minister. So one of the things that he did to sustain our relationship was that he was there for me in my dream. Everything I want to do concerning my music ministry, anything, he will always be there while we are still single. He didn't say, oh, actually I've not married her now. But if I say, okay, I'm holding a concert at this place, he will be there 24/7 for me. He will take a time leave from his work and be there for me. Those things actually help their relationship. And for my own part, as a lady, I couldn't give much. I couldn't give much. I can't give him money. I make sure that times that matters to him, those days like birthdays, anniversary at work, business anniversary and all of that. I make sure I give him gifts. I make sure I send messages. I make sure I'm there for him in time of trouble to counsel him and to calm him down when things are high, or all hopes are gone on some things. I make sure I'm a problem solver to him. I make sure those issues that looks like nothing can be done. I make sure I'm a prayer partner. I'm a counselor in some way. I'm a problem solver. I give gifts, and I make sure we focus on our dreams. We make sure we attain the same thing. Though it's not that when you say putting things together, it's not that you put your money inside his money and all of that. But I make sure there are some certain things we achieve even before we got married. After I knew we were going to get married and few months to our wedding, I made sure there are some things that seems impossible. I had to just put my hands together with him to achieve it. So we achieved a lot even before we got married. And even in marriage, it's made it so easy for us. So those things sustain our love life. And I thank God today that it's still the same. It's still the same routine till now.
All right, so you're already going ahead of my question, but it's fine. I like the fact that you were able to pinpoint many of those things you did when you were still in relationship. And just like I was speaking before she came into the studio to say that there are things that you should take note of that will help your love life to be sustained. And one of such is spending quality time together, speaking your partner's love language. For her, she said she loves gifts, and the husband identified this. I was giving gifts to her, and she also mentioned that they had fun together. They always will go to programs together, learn when it comes to the issue of relationship. And she also was not just receiving, because there are some ladies that are in relationship to just have, they're in relationship to just get from the man. They are not willing to add any value, not willing to add anything. But on her own side, even if it's a little thing, she said she was able to problem solve all the issues he brought to the table. She was also able to add value to the life of our fiance when they were still dating. Okay, thank you very much. And I believe people that are also online are learning one or two things. And this is one of the reasons why I've been able to pen down some of these things on the chat box. Now that you're a mom, all these things that I've mentioned, have any one of them been trending, or you are still trying to push through these things? I don't know if you get what I've just said. All these things that you were doing together when you were dating, now that you are a wife, you are a mother, are you still committed to these things, or you are still trying to find way out to keep doing these things? And if
Okay.
yes, how has it been? How are you able to also still navigate that your love life is still blossoming? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, there's no way you have a baby and you're married, you have to face your work and ministry, that some things won't be threatened. As a first time mom, assuming it's the second baby, you understand, you'd have been used to it, like, okay. So well, I'm still adjusting. I would like, I'm really adjusting. I'm not still getting the roots, but I'm adjusting. From the place of adjustment, I've not been able to go out like that, like I used to for now. So those places that my husband spotted around this area, that okay, we are meant to attend and to go visit, have time together. I have a baby. I can't go. And I don't have a nanny. You understand? And I'm not ready to take in any nanny. So I make sure I've said that okay, this social time, after this social period, I'll be able to go out. I'll be able to do this and do that. But for now, I have to paint some things. In the aspect of gifts, it has not stopped. Yes,
I
the
like
aspect
this.
of gifts has stopped. But going out, that one
Because
has yeah. You want to say something
okay,
else?
so I was actually saying that I like your sincerity. You say that they will not discourage. Is
Yeah.
actually a lie. So
So
the threat will come, but we have to push back and come back to um, the battlefield again. So, like I mentioned before, you joined to say that you actually can do your couples date in the house for the main time that you are there. You can carve out time that you are not being disturbed, you and your husband. It could be in the night. You spend 3 hours, 4 hours, deeply talking and then communicating over issues together. Okay, you can actually do that. All right, so I know we spent a lot of time here, but I think I'll just leave it with two more questions so then we call it a day.
okay.
We're still having this echo. I don't know the issue. Okay. Would you like to share with us how you've been able to manage your personal life, your
Ah,
to love life. Back. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Apologies, the network threw us off. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, so we're back, and she has done justice to the questions, and I believe we've been able to relearn one or two things. And I would ask you one more questions, and then would answer the questions that we have in here. So the question I was asking before the network threw us off was to say that how have you been able to manage all these areas of your life together, your relationship, your personal life, your business, your music ministry, and all? Yes, how have you been able to manage it, that one has not been able to affect the other? Can you share with us so that people who also are multi-sided and have many things to do can learn some few things from you? You have the floor, ma'am. You can go ahead, ma'am. It appears she's frozen from her end. Yes, can you hear me now? You were frozen
Okay.
for few minutes, for few seconds
Sorry.
rather. So I was asking that all the areas of your
So
life that
sorry, it's the
you,
network.
no problem. We were asking to say that your music ministry, your personal life, home life, your business and everything, how has it been that you've been able to navigate and manage everything that one has not been able to affect the other? Would you like to share so that people who also have many things to do, many ideas coming to their head can also learn? Yes,
Yeah, can
ma'am,
you
you
hear
have the
me?
floor. Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay. Um, about that, I've just tried to reschedule my time because the time has actually changed. So there's time for everything now. It's not time that you can just put in something inside your schedule, like something just come on. Maybe you have a program and today you maybe tomorrow they want you to minister and they just told you last week. No, it's not happening again. You have to pre-inform me because I have to put it in my schedule to be able to do something. So anything I didn't pre-plan, I don't do so that I won't have my schedules and unfulfilled. So every day I make sure, okay, my baby, I have to bathe for my baby by 5 o'clock. I have to be in this place by 2 o'clock. I have to do this, I have to do that. I have to make my food. Sometimes I even cook ahead. Maybe I cook in the night, but, against tomorrow, so that my husband will be going to work. So I make sure I cook in the night. So maybe in the morning I will just warm up some things and attend to my baby and make her sleep, then go wash clothes, then do some other things. And that's just how I've been doing. I make sure I really time myself. I make sure I time myself and I work to it. It's not easy sometimes when you time yourself and later you just see that your baby is up again and crying. But I just try to make sure. So I try to understand which time fits for this. My baby sleeps so well in the morning from 5 to 12. So from that 5 to 12, let me do some things I can't. I know she might want to disturb me, so I just fix up some things. I made the dish. I do the cleaning. I make food. I prepare for the night. Dress up, fix the house, and all of that. Return to her by 12 because by 12 she would have woken up. Then I back her. Make sure after like 2 o'clock she sleeps again. I just make sure those time nothing come into it. What I've planned already, nothing come into it, and it has been with the help of
Well
God
done,
all through,
ma.
sha.
It has not been easy, right? Nobody said it will be easy, but well, God promised that it's going to be possible and that there will be a soft landing. The truth is, if you have heard her very well, she had been able to mention that she's been able to do thorough planning for anything at all she wants to do, whether in the area of business, in the area of music, or in the area of the home life, or any aspect of her life as that may be. She plans. And before she performs, she also prioritizes to say, okay, can I do this at this time? Is this what it's at this time? Or should I put this to another time? She also prioritizes. And after all of this, she then performs. So these are three things that is very important for you to be able to manage your time effectively. She has talked about planning because she has many things that she is doing, and then she has been able to plan them into her schedule. Whatever is not in her schedule, she cannot take them in. So there's nothing about being emotional about it. And just like they say that they say that systems are not emotional. Systems are not emotional. Wherever you see things working, it is because they have put systems in place and they don't allow the emotion to get into it. So whatever is not in her schedule, she will not allow for it. And then she prioritizes to say what is needed at this time, what should I do, and then she performs. And as we say this, it's also needed to also allow for flexibility in our plans sometimes, because there could be some legitimate interruption from the usual that we have planned. And that's another topic for another day. All right, ma'am, we're rounding up now. We have a question, and if you have your question, you might want to just share now because we'll be going off the call. And Muranikeji Mutsunrayo is asking to say that when you were friends, did you have someone that you were close to, like a male friend? Because it looked as if he was your only friend. So this question is to you, ma'am. You are muted, ma. We can't hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, the question, is it a male friend or a female friend?
She said someone that you were close to, like a male friend. So she's being specific to say a
Okay.
male friend.
Okay. Yes, actually, I had friends, male friends that I was close to. There's no way. I actually my own, like, I'm more closer to male friends than female friends. Though when my husband now came in, he had to actually select some friends that I had to do away because they wouldn't actually follow me into marriage. So he knew some relationships, some friendship that I thought they weren't toxic. You could see it when he came into my life. You could see that this friendship won't lead so well. So he actually told me to cut off. So sometimes you'll be like, this person has been with me for a while. How will I just cut off this relationship? But later on, I had to see that, oh, truly, this person is toxic. So there are some friends that I had made friends, but there are some friends that I had to do away with intentionally. I had made friends. Some were somehow which I was comfortable with, and my fiance wasn't comfortable with it. So I have to adjust. But now my husband is my best friend. No other friend is my best friend. Every other person comes after.
I like,
I don't have any other best friend aside him now. No other.
I like that. All right. So
Yeah.
if you listen properly, you will know that she has mentioned that even when you are single, you might not be able to identify people in your life that are toxic to your life. But when they started the journey, the husband could pick that no, we cannot work with this person, because one of the things singles should know is that they whoever is their friends, when they get married, those friends become our friend. So when I have friends and my partner also have friends, by the time we tie the knots and again get married, it means that they all become our friends. That's if we still want to maintain those friends, and it has to be on the list of friends that we have. So there's no friend that your husband would not know, or there's no friend that your wife would not know. I believe that we have learned one or two things tonight, and then we've been able to pick one or two things. It has been a long session, and we want to appreciate you, ma'am, for responding to our invitation, for honoring it. We say thank you on behalf of Married Grace Academy. Thank you very much for coming on board. We hope to have you some other time. And for viewers who were on call today, the likes of Balogun Temi, Tope, Renikeji Mutunayo, Femi Adebayo, and every other person that came in. We want to say thank you for this time out. Do have an amazing week ahead. We love you and we pray that your marriage will blossom. Now, back to you, Mrs. Olusegun. Is there anything you want to say? Your last word to people viewing you? tonight, what would it be that you want them to hear from you? Just a sentence, either to the singles, especially, or to the married, and then we'll call it an evening.
Yeah, I let me say this. Please, before you go into marriage, make sure you pray, prepare, prepare, and play. What I mean by pray is that pray very well so that you won't pick the wrong choice as a single lady or a single man. What I mean by prepare is read books, go for relationship talks, have a mentor that can train you in relationship, have someone that you hold in high esteem. Excuse me. Someone you hold in high esteem that you can actually speak with. When I mean play, I mean enjoy your singlehood. Enjoy it in Christ. Don't be like when you get to in marriage, you not be like, well, I would have done this, so I would have done this, I would have done that. No, don't have any regrets. Anything that you think might be a regret, please do it. Do it before you are single. Know Christ enough. Christ enough. Go to places that you can be enlightened, places that you can be strengthened, that your faith can be strengthened. And please, if you know that you've not really accepted Christ in this room, please make sure you do. There's nothing as outside Christ. There are lots of choices that would think that they are right, that at the end of this, they are not even the right choices for us. I would have fought trap of a lot of things, a lot of men that I thought were right. If I didn't know Christ, I would have fallen trap of a lot of things, a lot of wrong men that now I'm asking that God, I thank you that I chose right. So please accept Christ. You need
Glory.
Christ for everything. Yeah, you need Christ, you need prayer, you need Christ. You can't do away with Jesus. You can't do away with Christ. Whatever it is, pray, 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 pray. You need it. Pray, prepare, pray and prepare. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you
We
very
really
much, ma'am. We
appreciate
really
your
appreciate
presence,
your
and I like
presence,
the
and I
ending
like
part
the ending part of your
um,
um,
of what you have just said to
of what
say
I've
before
just
you go
said
into
to say
marriage,
before you go into
pray,
marriage,
prepare,
prepare,
and
prepare,
play.
and
Very
play.
important.
Very
Things you must
important.
do before you
Things
get
you
into
do before
marriage.
you get into
Pray,
marriage.
prepare,
Pray,
and
prepare,
play. Thank you
and play.
everyone
Thank
that
you
have
very much,
taken time
everyone
to
that have
watch us till
taken
now.
time to
And
watch
for
us.
those who also still catch replay, you want to take time to share this with your friends and everyone. Okay, so somebody is asking if you can give two books that can help us. I've authored four books and still counting,
Still
and
campaign,
I can
and
also
I
recommend some
can
other
also
books
recommend some
from
other
known
known
authors in
authors
relationship.
in
I have
relationship.
written
I
about
am
waiting
thinking
but
about
not
waiting but
wasting.
not
It's a
wasting.
guide for
The guide
singles
for singles
who are still waiting.
who are
I
still
have
waiting.
written
I
about
have written about
70 wrong
17
reasons people go
wrong
into
reasons
marriage.
going to
I've also
marriage.
written
I've also
fidelity plan,
written fidelity
and I've
plan,
written
and I've written
relationship box.
relationship
It's
box,
a
a,
guide on the
a
principles to
guide
make
for
your
the
relationship
principles to
thrive.
make your
All of these
relationship
are on
thrive. All of
Stella,
these are on
and
Stella,
you want to
and
get
you
them.
want to
I
get
will
them.
drop our
I will
WhatsApp
drop
contacts
our
in the
WhatsApp
platform. You can
contacts
chat
on
with
the
me
platform.
after
You
now
can
so
chat
that I can
with me
share the
now so that I can
the
share the
Telegram account. Let me
Telegram
say
account.
thank you
I want to
everyone
say thank you
for
everyone
joining us
for
tonight. Do
joining
not take
us
it for
tonight.
granted.
Do not take
Do
it for
have an
granted.
amazing evening.
Have an
Thank you, Mrs.
amazing evening. Thank
Olusegun.
you,
That's
Mrs.
your husband.
Olusegun. That's your husband.
Thank you,
Bye.
Yvonne. I'm so
Bye.
sorry for the technical issue. Please, I'm sorry. Pardon. Please. Bye.